It's the woman with the list. I'm here with a special list that all of us parents need to check into from time to time. This is a parent check-in. Do I expect you to be perfect? Absolutely not. Do I think that you're never going to make a mistake? If you're a parent who has never made a mistake, I would like to talk to you because you know everything. You need to write a book about parenting. There are things on this list that just this week I can smack myself on the forehead and say, yes, I fucked up. So let's dive in. Number 1, within reason and age appropriateness, you let your child express their own style. I'm sorry, is there some kind of image you're trying to keep up in public or something? Listen, hair grows back, nail polish can be removed, clothing is not fused permanently to your body. Within reason and age appropriateness, kids should be allowed to express their style. So number 2, you let your kids respectfully question your authority from time to time. Listen, sometimes we overreact. Sometimes we're not always right. Sometimes the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Sometimes the rules are a bit too strict. And as long as they're respectful about it, okay, I'm not saying they get to cuss you out or whatever. As long as they're respectful about it, they should be able to say, you know what, Mom? I don't feel like it's fair for this to be my curfew. And then you guys discuss it and talk about why this is the curfew, and maybe you guys can revisit it later when they're a little bit older and things like that, not just talking about curfew. But it should not be a situation where it's always 100% of the time what I say goes. I want my kids to be able to question authority when they go out into the workforce, especially if they get an asshole boss who's taking advantage of them. I want them to have the confidence and the communication skills to be able to question that and fight back if something is not fair or if they're discriminated against. In the home is where they learn these skills. So everything questioning a decision you have made is not always talking back, and that's a lot of problems with you old school parents. That's a big reason why a lot of your kids aren't talking to you, or they limit communication with you. Please repeat after me, parents. Repeat after me. I am not always right. Thank you. I'm not saying to let your child run you and do what they want, but I'm saying they should be able to communicate with you and ask questions, and then y'all have talk about, the situation and what's going on. That's it. Doesn't mean you have to change your decision, but you should be willing to discuss it with them. Number 3, you don't teach your girls that it's their job to serve and cater to men. That means that you don't have your daughter in the kitchen cooking, busting suds, and serving plates while the dad and the brothers are chilling out at the table and she's handing out plates to everybody and she's stuck cleaning up the kitchen. What's wrong with you? Your son needs to know how to cook and clean. Your daughter needs to know how to cook and clean. Your son should know how to mow a lawn. Your daughter should know how to mow a lawn. I totally understand that naturally there's going to be some things that your kids don't like to do. For example, neither one of my kids like to cook. They just don't like to cook at all. But if they want something to eat, they know how to fix it. Both of them. Both my kids take the trash out. Both my kids wash dishes and clean the bathroom. You shouldn't be teaching your daughter that it's her job to be serving men, okay? Number 4, you don't baby your boys and then force your girls to mature, which kind of feeds back into number 3. You're not babying and coddling your son and giving him a pass and letting him do whatever he wants to do while you have your daughter cooking and cleaning and give your brother his plate, and you're forcing her to be a little adult, a mini wife, while your son gets to do whatever he wants to do. This is how you get mama's boys who grow up to abuse and take advantage of other women. This is where you get daughters who grow up and stop talking to their mom. Number 5, you're open to feedback without getting defensive or retaliating. This kind of meshes into, number 2. My daughter can tell me, you know what, Mom, I don't like how you talked to me yesterday. And I'm not going to snap at her and be like, shut up, I can talk to you how I want to talk to you. I am calm enough to be like, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. I will learn to not talk to you so harshly. It wasn't your fault. I had a stressful day, but it wasn't your fault. I apologize. There are actually parents who will retaliate against their children if they dare say anything that goes against what they believe is right all the time. The parent can never be wrong, and that is wrong. Number 6, you don't rely on your kids for emotional support. Your child is not your bestie, okay? Now I get once your child is a full-on adult and, they grow up and they're out on their own, y'all might be besties at that point. That's a reward that us parents get when we've done our job and our kids actually like us. But while they're young and growing up, it's not appropriate to rely on your kid for emotional support. Your child is not your therapist. Your child is not your bestie. Your child is a fucking child, and a lot of you need to realize that. Number 7, you choose your kids over a man when you are dating. A lot of women need to hear this. If I ever date someone, I haven't really introduced my kids to anyone, so I wouldn't be able to relate to this one, but I know of examples to it. But if you are dating someone and your kids don't feel comfortable around this person, that should be the end of y'all dating. This is my kids' home. I need my kids to feel comfortable. I need my kids to know that I have their back at all times. I pick my kids over any man, any day of the week, no questions asked. If you are so desperate to where your kids are telling you that they don't feel safe around someone or just feel weird around a person, but you're so desperate for a man that you just ignore them, something is seriously fucking wrong with you. You need counseling, you need therapy, and you need not be dating. Too many women are allowing their kids to be abused and taken advantage of, all for the sake of being able to say that they're in a relationship. And I cannot stand you. Number 8, you consider your kids whenever you make major decisions. You don't just pick up and move somewhere without thinking about how it's going to affect them. They're going to miss their friends. What resources are they going to have to get well adjusted? It might mean that you still have to move, but you're going to seriously think about how things affect them because you respect that your children are actual human beings whose feelings matter. Within reason and age appropriateness, you let your kids have fun. There's 2 best friends that my child has that she goes to their house. She might go swimming or go to main event, and I know where she's at. She knows her curfew. She knows I will be there for her if she doesn't feel comfortable in any given situation. I just let her have fun. She's a good kid. My kids are not running the streets, so I let them have fun. They need to have friends. Their siblings and you do not count. Let your kids have fun. Number 10, you take an active interest in your kids' hobbies. Learn the TikTok dance. Laugh at the TikTok videos, okay? Have some fun. Listen to the music that they like. They love when you love the things that they love, okay? Treat your kids like y'all like them. A lot of y'all have kids and y'all don't even like them. Y'all are not even interested in anything about them. Y'all don't want to get to know them as human beings. And then you get upset when they don't want anything to do with you when they get out on their own. Anyway, what did y'all think about my list? What should I add to the list?